Now, we have a little time on the India question, India-Pakistan, Kashmir conflict. You had made an interesting comment, which was that both sides have to grow up. It almost sounded maternal. Why do you think this is just exploding yet again?
Pamela, can I be honest with you? As a person who represents a government which has invested single-mindedly and at sometimes great political risk for 4 years in improving the environment with India, in building the trust with India, in trying to get their, build confidence amongst each other, in getting out of the hostile narrative of warfare and military strength and, just wanting to put each other down, and coming into the positive zone of looking at each other from a regional lens and saying, your prosperity is important to me because you are a member of my region. And yes, we have very important disputes. We have the core dispute of Jammu and Kashmir. We have 3-ish other, disputed territory issues, 2 important ones out of those. And yet, we are a group or 2 countries which will work our way out through these disputes, through these problems, through these hostile narratives by building on peace, by pursuing the peace process and find enough trust in each other to be able to sit around the dialogue table to solve our problems.
And you think it's going in the right direction?
Now, listen to what I have to say about it. So on the 6th of January, we had an incident where Indian military border forces came almost 400 meters inside Pakistani territory and attacked an existing Pakistani post, which obviously retaliated some fire, but 2 of our people were brutally injured, and one of them lost his life then. So we obviously made a démarche on the ambassador and followed the process of, because we've had conflict for such a long time, we have a process that we follow. So the 2 DGs or Director Generals of the military operations are supposed to have a conversation, clarify what happened, and then move on. Now, on the 6th of January, India made claims, an accusation that Pakistani forces had entered into India and done a similar thing and beheaded their people. Now, interestingly, first of all, extremely contradictory statements coming in from India. Okay, because the Northern Command spokesperson, who's supposed to be the person closest to what happened on the ground, denied in the Reuters report that there was any beheading whatsoever. Yet there were lots of other people who were saying they were. So we looked into the evidence, we saw and we had no evidence of any such activity having taken place or any of our soldiers having gone. So we said we are willing to go for a tripartite, a UN administered inquiry into this, and we are willing to do any type of inquiry that we want. But now at the same time, when this claimed incident happened, the type of statements that came in from the Indian side were nothing less than highly inflammatory, was upping the ante and was going on this, typical hostile narrative mode that these 2 countries have done for the last 60 years. Nothing new. Very old, very banal, very old-fashioned, and very disappointing to be. We had responsible people talking about a proportionate response being given. Did we have anybody talking about a proportionate response when we lost Lance Naik Aslam on our side of the border? We did not, because we wanted, we understand what we need. Now, interestingly, till on the 10th of January, I think we had that proportionate response because one of our Havaldars on our side was killed, was literally targeted and killed across the LOC. Unfortunate, extremely unfortunate.
Excuse me.
And as unfortunate as these incidents are, what is even more disappointing is the hostile, recriminatory, accusatory, and just military-minded, exceptionally military-minded statements which have come from very, very responsible people. And unfortunately, I think it seems that it has become a domestic politics issue. So this is very deeply disappointing, but we are very clear. For instance, this government was the first government in 40 years to try and normalize trade with India. Okay, now this was at great political risk, and this was taking a lead in normalizing things with India. So I can just say that at the near end of our tenure, I'm deeply disappointed, and but we are as deeply committed to a peace process with India as we are deeply disappointed. That's all I can say, and that we will continue to tread on that, and we would encourage people from the other side to also be careful and to maybe show
it hurts the economies on both sides, does it not?
it hurts more than the economies on both sides. You know, this hostility that we've had for the last 60 years has held the entire region back. It has held the progress of SARC back. It has just made us invest greatly both in military warfare and other, and in creating a hostile narrative. You know, I'm convinced that Pakistan's foreign policy is not one which is hostile to India. It has to be one which is positive to Pakistan. It seems as if the same change needs to be made on the Indian side also, because there are calls of making an international effort. So it's what I would say, it's almost crazy. The level of rhetoric is ununderstandable and preposterous, and we hope that better sense will prevail, and we hope that the maturity that we have demonstrated in the last 4 years will come back to knock on our door again. And you know, and I'm very proud, by the way, on the way that Pakistan has handled this. I'm very proud on how our media has handled this. I'm even more proud on how our political leadership has started this, because I think because I think what they have shown is their deep, abiding commitment to a peace process with India, to normalizing relations with India. So we are as deeply agonized by the loss of 2 of our men, serving men, soldiers who gave their lives for Pakistan. We are as agonized about it, but we do not resort to inflammatory and accusatory and, you know, military mindset. We resort to you know, the mechanisms that exist and ensuring that incidents like this don't take place.